on the art.
Today I'm drawing cafe racer, motorcycle in different angles in a 5-point perspective. So here I have this Yamaha SR500 Vagabond motor, something like this. So you can watch my previous video about drawing motorcycle. So there is again this kind of basic proportions. Usually it's like about 1 wheel and half. Here it's less than half. In between, so like here you see it's like 1 wheel and little more. And then this kind of part, right? It's like if you make a vertical line here, you will get this point for front fork. So from center of wheel, you're making line to this point. And then like about here, you see, it's like a little higher than wheel. So over here is rider seat. So basically I will draw like starting from this square of front wheel, I will make this angle and this bottom of a frame. So have in the middle of this frame with a fuel tank and rider seat, and then also here it's like footrest. And then also what you need to notice, it's torso. So it's like body with pelvis. So what is proportions? It's kind of similar to height of motorcycle. So it's also, you know, find this general, like overall proportions, help you to draw in perspective. So you can say height of motorcycle and rider torso, kind of same length. And also, like I shown in previous tutorials, you can see length of leg. It's about same length as torso or upper half of a body, including head. So it's just convenient to kind of generalize to this. So it's like I say, it's like can be like this, right? So it's like they equal. So and then you add head, or it can be kind of this. So make it a little too short. So it's like you take this length of leg, same as the length of upper torso with the head. So it's two kinds, and it's just very convenient to break it into 2 elements instead of like thinking like, oh, finger, feet, and that's it. You know, it's too many proportions, too many elements to calculate, right? So first of all, you remember this. It's like leg, it's about torso size or about upper part of body length, kind of. And depends on just different people. Some people have a long leg, some people have shorter leg, and then you look for this torso or whole body. It's like how it's compared to motorcycle height or motorcycle frame height. It's very easy to notice, make it much faster to draw. So, and then yeah, I make perspective grid. So here will be like this Z vanishing point. So here we have zenith and Y vanishing point below as nadir. Then X on the left, X on the right. So horizon lines go like this. And vertical lines go like this. Then I just think like, okay, where I want to place motorcycles. So here we'll do like 6 motorcycles. And I just kind of like making composition, like where is the placement, what is proportions, so arranging them in a space. So now, so here I have this like shape to fit motorcycle inside this shape, and I will draw with a rider together. So let's see. Front wheel, rear wheel, so it's in between about 1 wheel and little more. So first I have just the squares, then like I say, can find this frame. Here full tank and driver's seat. Then this box for a wheel, a square, I turn into ellipse. It's also, you can sometimes check with a minor axis. So for this wheel minor axis, it's X, this X axis. So minor axis, it means wheel should, ellipse should be like this. If minor x is this way, then ellipse should be this way. This kind of in the beginning of Scott Robertson How to Draw book talking about this. So here. So first you can have this like flat projection, and Yeah, later I will add driver and thickness. So first you can just establish this projection. So kind of this is side projection in perspective, And now can just add thickness to frame and to place right there. So now if like we look motorcycle from top, we have like wheel this thickness, then go frame like this, and then rider he kind of this thickness, right? So kind of at first you can just look at them as boxes like this. Так. I can show you actually. Yeah, here I can see little. So here I have a rear fork and shock absorber. Yes. Maybe I make wheels right now too. So watch my tutorial about how to draw wheels and how to draw motorcycle wheels. Because it's like drawing wheels, it's kind of thing which is better to practice independently. You just need to carefully draw it like a practice to build it properly, you know. So then you can be loose, you can draw more quick, but at first you need to practice to build it in perspective properly. You can watch my tutorials talking about this, and there also kind of how to draw pattern on a tire tread on motorcycle. Hello Adam, hello A100 11889. So Adam asked like, do 1-point methods, linear methods work on a 6-point perspective? No, because in a 6-point perspective you need to like every axis is curvilinear, so there is no straight lines. It's kind of like all these principles, how to duplicate boxes and stuff, how to measure, they're universal. But then when you work with the curvilinear perspective grids, you need to consider this curvature. So there is no straight lines anymore, right? So It's kind of same principles, like I know this duplicate box, for example, right? It's same principle, but you see like curvature will be different. So instead of this kind of straight lines, it might be kind of, so you might need to make every line curved. So you need to know curvature. And that's why I also say to work in a curvilinear and like more kind of extreme perspective, you need to have already solid knowledge and like good amount of practice with a normal perspective. Just make you more kind of flexible and more adaptive when you have solid foundations. When your foundations not very, if you don't practice enough, you cannot be adaptive, you cannot be flexible, because you don't have these tools in your subconsciousness, right? So when you try to solve some complex problem, you start to make an effort to remember basics. So you know, it's like, oh, I want to find this very complex, very specific solution, but instead of working on or focus on it, I need also spend some effort to remember general basics. You know, it's like remember like how much will be 2 plus 2, you know. So then I use this direction, right? So I can make kind of these points from which I will draw this following x-axis, and then I can choose a width for a fork. Yeah, make sure you Adam, make sure you practice like in more stuff in a 5-point perspective. So like you say, like you learn 5-point perspective, but can you draw like can you rotate objects in perspective? Do you really confident in drawing stuff? Like can you draw vehicle, motorcycle in perspective? All this stuff. So it's really will help you a lot to just spend more time to explore how perspective works in a perspective which you already kind of can do, but there is always many like extra options. How to draw stairs in a 5-point perspective, you know, like people walking on the stairs in a 5-point perspective. Then you can go to curvilinear perspective, like fisheye perspective. I have these tutorials about fisheye perspective, like Omao, this Omao artist, Omao. So this is kind of like intermediate between 5-point and 6-point perspective. So I think it's more easier to grasp than 6-point perspective. Then here I do handlebars. Here's a kind of connecting. So here's like bottom of a frame. Then on the frame here, actually, it's front part. It's one bar here, and then here is engine, like a leaning box. So here, and I can show you. So this is how engine look if we draw it like a box, kind of this. Plus carburetor, and carburetor just again, like at first look at this as a box, this kind of box, plus a filter. So here is cylinder. So yeah, it looks like a hammer, right? So this piston here, so there is like combustion kind of happen, right? Then this lower part of engine, and then you place here, attach carburetor. It's like short hammer. So you see, like if we look in here, this is kind of what happened. Fuel tank, and then this two boxes plus carburetor. Here also front light. Again, here we have this lower box, this box, carburetor. And it's also like I draw motorcycle at beginning, like it's very convenient to at first draw, you know, this kind of overall shape, and then you can turn this shape into box and say, okay, now it's engine with a carburetor. So instead of starting from box, you start from shape. Then you can add more and more complexity, more and more details. So there's chain. Other side, this rear shock and fork. So rear shock absorber, and can put driver. So here it's driver seat. Like I say, you see, we have this motorcycle hitch from bottom to driver seat, right? So I just continue and I say like, okay, this part, right? And so it's like two equal lengths. So when I say, okay, this will be like rider torso here. So when we have these big chunks, it's easy to calculate. So when I say, oh, it's like motorcycle H, it will be same H over rider torso. So very easy to find this proportion. Same here. Here I will do like lower, like this, because they intersect. So then when I have torso, I can find the like foot rest, like where he places his feet. Let's say here, right? Here. So I draw this like bottom of a feet, like this. And then like when I have, let's see, so this motorcycle. So I find feet, right, like this, find torso, and now I need to put this angle, or maybe I will change feet angle, like this. So at first can be just like line, then you add like shape to this line, and then you can break it into cylinder, and then you can make it into square if you want. So you see, it's kind of like, it's a sequence how to make it more convenient. So like go from shape to cylinders, from cylinders to boxes, from boxes then you can go to anatomy or whatever you want. Boxes is more convenient to make more detail because you have clear sides, right? You have top, bottom, front, left, kind of this. So eventually it's good to have box. You can start from drawing legs as a boxes, or you can start like armature, then add shape to this armature, and then add cylinder and boxes. So here. Hello, Konstantinos. Then same with the arms, so you can have handlebars like this, or you can have handlebars like this, so you just always will have hands holding it, right? So you can start from hands and then you connect them to shoulders. And then, yeah, okay, what's here? And then you add head. I can also little and just torso and head. So like this. So you see, it's a kind of interesting also moment here. We have these tools like a shape, let's say. Say and draw guy as a shape, right? Then I can turn this shape into cylinders. Then I can turn this shape into boxes. So it can be like pelvis, a leg here. And then also it can be like in perspective, right? Adam asks, do you usually start with figures or objects when determining the scale of a scene? You mean like objects like motorcycle and rider? Like you should kind of consider everything together. So this is what I show every time when I draw. It's like on a stage of composition. You work with the shapes, you look like how much space will take rider, how much space will take motorcycle, how much space will take wheels, So you need to this is kind of idea of composition, right? It's like you're arranging shapes. So you say we have this shape, we have this shape, we have this shape, this shape. So you kind of have this piece of paper and you need to arrange them. You think like, oh, maybe this I will make here, maybe I will make this kind of overlapping, maybe this one I will like change some, maybe I will find some kind of pattern, so I will make these elements following this pattern. And also like why it's not easy to do, because like when you work with the flat shapes, let's say like this wheels and rider, right? Yeah, I need to consider perspective too, because a rear wheel and a front wheel, right, they depend on a perspective grid. So this is kind of tricky, because before you build perspective properly, you need already to see this perspective. You need to already have this kind of general idea what will happen with the rider and motorcycle in perspective when you just like composing flat shapes, kind of, right? So at the beginning you will more like go back and forth, because you can start with arranging shapes, but then when you start to make perspective, you see, I make mistake with proportions, because now following perspective grid, proportions need to be changed. So my composition start to change, right? So now you have new perspective grid, and then you again need to go back to this previous stage when you arrange shapes to make sure it will be better composition for you. So sometimes it's impossible to make it in the way you want, so you need to sacrifice perspective, or you need to sacrifice composition. So it will be like not exactly composition you want, but it's more proper in perspective. So to be better at this, to be better in kind of this, you know, like a juggling with very different aspects, like 2D, 3D, you know, colors and all this stuff, you need to kind of think about them together, and to do it more efficient, to become kind of master with this stuff, you need to practice them separately. So more you practice them independently, better you will perform when you need to work with them simultaneously. You see what I mean? So same like I say, compare it to any other discipline. We take football, right? Yeah, football, you need to run, so you need to be like, let's say, like you need to have endurance, you need to have like also maybe this is just like general athleticism, then you need to know game rules, then you need to have like experience work in a team or stuff like that, right? So it's a lot of aspects, and you can be very smart, but if you're not good enough in the running, like you're tired too fast, you're lazy, like I don't know, like a Russian football team, so then this will block you, will be like your very strong drawback, kind of, right? So, or boxing, kind of. In the boxing there is also like you know, there's like rope jumping. It seems like absolutely unnecessary exercise, like for people who don't understand how it works, right? But it's very essential, because it's important for boxers to, it's not only endurance, but it's also about like body balance control. It's like many micro movements, which if you're trained with a regular and many year rope jumping, right, you will just change your brain, you change your muscles, so now you have more like kind of dynamic balance of your body, kind of with this kind of, you know, weight distribution, all these micro movements of the legs. So very important. So I'm here, like, you practice just how to draw objects, just how to draw stuff in perspective. Then you also practice how to make shapes, how to compose shapes, how to make like beautiful or cool shapes, you know, with this kind of stuff. I don't know. So and then you also practice how to do all them together simultaneously. Like here, it's not artwork I'm doing now. It's not art. It's also exercise. And this example, like how I exercise is very little composition, because what is composition here? It's just like put 6 motorcycles on a page, just so. So I need to consider like how to put the 6 motorcycles so they will be fit in the page. It's not so difficult. And then I practice how to draw them in perspective. So it's kind of hard to explain for people who don't experience how it works. There's kind of paradox here, you know. It's like every teachers, they talking this essential stuff, and they're kind of inevitably they misunderstood, because student, he will never understand importance of important things. Like teacher says, this is important, really do what I say, do like 100 times. You think you're good in 3-point perspective? Okay, how many times you use this knowledge? Like have you draw like 100 environments with a 3 vanishing point perspective? Just like direct question. At least 100, right? If you're not, okay, this is what you should do. Okay, anyway, so can go to pink. Same kind of like I draw these motorcycles, let's say, right? And I say like, oh, okay, now I can draw motorcycles, so I don't need to draw them anymore. No, it's mean like there is a lot of there's a lot of aspects that can be better with drawing motorcycles. It's far from. I don't know what words to use for this. Yeah, you can just look some other artists to blow your mind, say like, oh, I want to draw like this, and you keep pushing yourself forward and keep exploring how to draw them better. Oh, cool. Thank you, Adam. So here we have this front fork. Front fork, it's 2 shock absorbers and triple tree clamp. What's called triple tree. Anyway, so it's like this shock absorber connected by clamps with a second shock absorber. Then here is a brake disc. Brake disc here will have like brake caliper. This brake caliper will have cable. Or like sometimes, let's say I watch Ryan Berry, for example, like he drawing this mecha and robots and some kind of dudes with robotic arms and stuff. And I don't know, like about 5 years maybe he already drew same stuff again and again. Like he already drew like thousands of these mechanical guys with mechanical arms and the mecha stuff. So that's why he kind of one of the best artists who can draw this kind of stuff, just because he have so much experience with this. He was like, and it looks like he every time he really like pushing his limits, you know, going to some extremes. So here for let me show, handlebar will have these two clamps. They are kind of holding this handlebar. Brake levers like this. forget exhaust pipe. And here's on the right side. So here. So same like also like if you want to draw motorcycle in extreme perspective, like some super dynamic angles, it's very helpful if you at first draw it in a very simple perspective, in some kind of isometry, you know, or like, yeah, like Scott Robertson showing his book how to draw So when he drew just like isometry perspective without curvilinear, or without strong distortions. Because at least you need to remember what elements inside motorcycle. And this pistons, transmission, так, here we'll do this. Here actually laser clamps. So you also can find on the internet this kind of dismantle parts of motorcycle, which is also, it's not very useful just to look at it. It's really useful to draw the stuff. You can like take them and draw in perspective, like imagine like how each of this part will looks in perspective. So this rear fork, this rear shock absorber, then this thing, forget how to call it, this frame, every part you can draw in 3D. So it's actually will be like great exercise and also a way to build your visual memory, because when you process information you will remember it. When you just look, you will easily forget. And I have also one video about this, like how to draw, like I was drawing also maybe cafe racer based on this kind of details. Just put them in 3D, put them together, kind of connect to make motorcycle. My Ghost Rider look like a Muppet Show. Kermit Ghost Rider. Here's kind of hello nuclear. Yeah, how to draw if special effects like a fire. Yeah, I will like I will need to learn more about this myself, and yeah, I will see if I will find some information worth of a tutorial. I will make tutorial about it. But I can share idea which I think very useful, how to learn special effects or anything you want to able to draw in general, right? You make pure ref file and collect images of your favorite artist, how they draw special effects. I have like this file, also I call it like FX or like special effects, something like this, and I put in this puref file all images of my favorite artist, how they draw in explosions or some surreal kind of effects. So you know this like from Akira, all these explosions and psychedelic kind of visuals, and from Moebius, whatever. So you put them in a puref file and you copy them. So at least for beginning I will recommend this, because you know, no matter like you know any special rules for it or principles, it's always help to make studies of your favorite artist, because there anyway you subconsciously you always trying to draw like your favorite artist. You kind of recalling these images in your subconsciousness. You're like, oh, I wish I can draw like in Akira or anywhere, you know, like whatever your favorite art. So you can learn from it directly, just like which exactly special effects you like, so you want to draw similar, right? Collect these images and study from them. Okay, thank you. See you, Adam. And this is what every artist do. They always like learn tricks from their favorite artworks. Because I think like for special effects especially, they're very much abstract. So it's more about practicing shapes and patterns. So, and then it's not like you don't need to look for a universal principle for shapes. Like I mean it's not so important in this case from my consideration. It's rather important to see like examples of use, like actual cases, like how actual artists, like how your favorite artist will show fire, how they draw smoke, what kind of shapes they use to draw fire and smoke or explosion. So this I think more important to learn directly kind of from your source of inspiration instead of going too far by learning some kind of science or general principles. So, and if we look like Ryan Berry, we can see a lot like how he drew this apocalyptic destruction in his pictures is definitely inspired by Akira. I can see like he been studied Akira images to see like how there's like fallen buildings, all this stuff. Oh, cool. I will check Atsuhi on Kubo. Didn't hear before. Yeah, so you better like copy his fire directly. This what you really. Because like I say, actually we want to be able to draw something like we find like aesthetically attractive, right? Like something like similar to what inspire you, right? So that's why you need to draw and copy directly from your inspiration, study directly from your inspiration. It's kind of like shortest way, most efficient way, especially for this abstraction like fire and explosions. Yeah, so and it's very convenient to use pure ref. For me it's like most convenient. You just drop all images there. You can like rearrange them, you can put them in the categories. You can say like, okay, like Akira explosions will be here, Akira fire will be here, Akira like gunshots maybe here, you know. You can like sort and categorize images or is like you will find more subcategories, like let's say like explosion in the space, or black and white explosion, colored explosion. Explosion of vehicle, or explosion of some constructions, like buildings, So treat it like a data research. Carburetor. Yeah, it's hard to say like how long I've been drawing, because many years I think I was not very efficient, like let's say like from my current point of view, I might be much more like much better learner, or much more productive, so I mean, this kind of how long somebody drew to be able to get to this level is very subjective. It's very hard to answer these questions, because I don't have kind of clear definition, like how much time I spent exactly for it, So it's like drawing all life in general, but start to seriously think about being an artist in 2003. So I went to art college. I was studying, it's like academical art, like in drawing, painting, even sculpture a little. And like if talking about perspective, we learn kind of very basic perspective, just about 3 vanishing point maximum, no curvilinear perspective. And generally, like my whole education was about drawing from observation, so like how to draw like models, like somebody posing for you, or how to draw environments from observation. And it's very different from how to draw stuff from imagination or from reference, without real life. It's just like totally different mindset, totally different approach. And I can say it's very important for illustrator or comic book artist to, from time to time, to draw from real life, because you need this mindset. You need to kind of turn the switch sometimes to be observer and kind of receive information as artist from real world, kind of, right? Because if you will not do this, you will be limited to other people work, because every image it's done by somebody, like even if it's photograph from your phone, because like you might think like, oh, it's just random photograph, it's not like artistic work. Yeah, but it's like engineering work. It's anyway it's a product of other people, so there is certain algorithms in a camera, in a phone, right? So like in the Apple especially, there's a lot of algorithms which make image look decent or even like good, you know. So it's a processed image. It's not kind of like it's not clear information. It's not so direct like if you draw from reality. Reality is so cool. You are really practice very important mindset. Yeah, but like I say, you need to have some special skills how to draw from imagination. And in my art college, like almost zero information about this. So to improve my perspective, improve my ability to draw from imagination, from some kind of illustration and stuff, comic books, I learn myself, just watching tutorials, watching videos, and even some stuff about oil painting. I've been watching tutorials. I learn a lot from video. So that's why I really think now you can learn a lot from YouTube or I don't know, online courses. It's worth going to art college, or if there is a good community. So like, you know, it's good, it mean be like I mean it can be like about they are very motivated, they are like very talented, and the perfect if they're better than you, much better than you, so they will always motivate you to improve. And other one is some kind of networking, because you get into art community, so they will become a professional artists, they will become like let's say art directors, producers, and all the stuff, right? So, and in a good art college or university, you start to get a real job while you're studying. So you're not even finished yet, but you already start to work on the real projects if it's good art college. If it's no good, then there is just like party all the time, nobody serious, and you might feel like you is a genius and the best artist in the world, but it's just because you're surrounded with lazy people. Yes. Yeah, it's like more than 10 years I was travel and drawing in different cities, you know, just like walking around. and drawing environments. I'm kind of like manga style Van Gogh. He was using oil painting, and me, I'm just doing line art, sometimes little watercolor. But I really get to this level when I can say my travel sketches, my urban sketches, it's real art, as I'm sure. It's just like I always have this dream of making comic book. I like kind of challenge of making comic book. It's very complex, very require a lot of brain resources, you know. you need to make your own story, or even if you have story from other writer, it's require a lot of work how to put this story into images. Yeah, and it's interesting, like when I was drawing from observation, all these travel sketches, I just like in one moment, like after a couple years, I was find this momentum. I don't know like how to describe it, but it's like kind of, you know, like a source of life. You can really feel it in space. So, and then I start to think like, how can I find something like this when I draw from imagination? Because like, you know, we always need to have certain spark kind of motif, right? Like which is lying within your work. And like when I draw outdoors, I just connect to source. I can feel it. Like I kind of like it's like your drink from a spring, right? It's like here is like clear source in front of you, and you just feeling yourself with it. So, and then I think for drawing from imagination is something like Carl Jung, you call it like collective subconsciousness. So you have this like subconsciousness, which is not only yours. It's not like you have this like personal, let's say, personal individual subconsciousness. A lot of your subconsciousness, a lot of your imagery, it's inherited, like genetically, I don't know, or just like when you've been grown up, you inherit all these images about like good and evil, about like people types, like types of character, you know, all the stuff. So it's like Carl Jung call archetypes. So I think like when we work from imagination, similar like outdoors, we have this like undescribable reality, which like endless, and you can kind of It's like no matter how many times you will try to describe reality, you will never reach it. It's elusive, kind of, right? And we have same kind of source within us. And David Lynch, he kind of talk about this in his book Catch Big Fish, because he meditating kind of, and he say he find ideas when he meditates. So he kind of like really experience images, which he, when he like it's like you feel something moving there in the back of your head. It's like, oh, there is some idea, I want to focus on it. You start to looking at it, then you start to study its behavior, then you start to study its kind of characteristics. In the same way also Miyazaki works same way. If you read his interview, he talk how he create Totoro. Same stuff. He say like first he was seeing just like a girl with umbrella staying on a bus station, and there's some kind of like forest spirit or creature, some kind of approach to bus station, also waiting for a bus. And then he just he say like this, what Miyazaki indirectly say. He say like he start to put himself in this situation, in this environment, and he start to walk around. So he literally like moving along this bus road, look around and like say, what I will see? I will see some field, then he sees some buildings, then he imagine like what people doing there. So for Miyazaki, he literally put himself inside this kind of parallel world, like in a movie, endless story kind of, right? Yusuke Murata, our I know. I can draw somebody else's story, but I need to find writer, like-minded writer who have like similar with me ideas, you know. It's kind of not so easy. So here we have today I use Pigma Micron 05. Okay, so kind of finish here some Ghost Riders. Thank you everybody for watching, for support this channel. We have new members. We really appreciate it. See you next tutorials. Write your comments also. Yay.
You bond